that's a store that was in the Midtown location, I'm guessing, which right by Penn Station.
Yeah, no, I worked at that one, and then I worked downtown in Chambers Street over by BMCC.
Mm-hmm.
And the rare occasions, at least at that time, this is 91, 92. So even then, like, we had women who would come into the shop, but they would wait until it was like later in the evening when the shop wasn't, full of people, because they, even though Hanley's always, even from the time that I worked there, always maintained a very open and friendly atmosphere. Oh, it was always a welcoming atmosphere. We didn't do that boys club bullshit that a lot of shops used to do. Not so much anymore. Like, the atmosphere in the comics retail community has changed so much.
It's changed drastically. It's still out there. There's still stores like that, and there's still people in the business like that.
There's still a few, but I think the majority is not like that. Thank God. Yeah. But even then, like the few times when a woman would come in, like say on a Wednesday at like 6 o'clock, as people are getting out of work, and like the shop is full, and it's, I would say, like 75%, 80% guys standing here, and the one woman walks in to get her books.
Yeah.
And all of the heads turn and look at her and make her uncomfortable, or made her uncomfortable to be there at the time. Like, it's countless. It happened all the time. I mean, again, thank God the atmosphere for the most part has changed. Although there are plenty of instances of shop owners and customers who still question the women, who feel like they have to, like, answer me these questions, these women.
Yeah. Red, no blue.
Yeah, exactly.
Craziness,
But again, it's that whole idea of keeping people out of a hobby because they don't meet up to your personal standard of what a fan is supposed to be, of whatever it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you like one anime. You're an anime fan. You don't have to watch everything. I don't watch everything. There's too much content.
Yeah.
I only have so many hours in the day.
Absolutely.
I can't.
And every once in a while, the other day, I'm sitting there and I'm cooking, and I'm, and I'm like, I should bring my iPad out here and listen to a podcast. I'm like, no, you don't need to have. So you just cook. Just enjoy preparing your meal. But so now, speaking of toxic fandoms,
oh boy, okay.
At toxic fandoms and toxic creators. This week, obviously, we saw another trailer for the Snyder Cut. Yay.
Okay.
and I know your long history dealing with Snyder fans.
Yeah, I think a lot of times I bring it on myself because it doesn't matter if I say, even if you don't mention his name and you just use the term Justice League, or
they come they find you
because they term search you.
Yeah.
And because I have a long history in particular, like I make no bones about not enjoying any of Snyder's films. Like, I think like the last film of his I actually kind of liked was 300.
Yeah, I mean, my friend Stu Goldstein said it. He said the guy's best work is the first 10 minutes of his first movie. It's that opening 10 minutes of Dawn of the Dead is really good.
Yeah.
And then it's, I mean.
Well, I'm not a Zack Snyder fan. He's got his fans, that's fine. But he's one of these people who, at least creatively, he's one of these people. He's got a great visual eye for a very particular style of filmmaking, which is sort of like
grim dark,
pseudo Michael Bay, lots of music video, slow-mo montages, and
I think
everything's set to Leonard Cohen. And
I think it's incredible that like Michael Bay is a director who I realized can make boring explosions.
Yeah.
I forget what movie I was watching. Like I was watching a trailer for something, I think. And the person I was in the theater with, I'm like, you see those 3 oil cans in the bottom right of the screen? There's going to be an explosion and they're going to fly into the air. And it's exactly what happened.
Was it Pain and Gain?
I think it was.
I think it was.
I think it's the trailer for Pain and Gain. Know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah. So when it comes to Zack Snyder, now, anybody who knows me, and for those of you people who don't know me or don't follow me on social media, one thing that you have to know about me is I am a huge Superman fan. Huge Superman fan. I think the only person who's probably a bigger Superman fan than I am working in comics right now is probably Mark Waid. And even that is kind of it's kind of negligible sometimes. So I have a very close affinity for the character. I always have. There is a way that he is depicted in the Snyder movies where he just misses the mark. And I decided a while ago that it's not that he did it. It's not that he does it on purpose. It's he just doesn't get the character.
Yeah.
And there's just some creators who just don't get the character because they feel like they have to justify the character's existence. And if you feel like you have to justify Superman or any character's existence, if you're working on a property, you feel like you have to justify why they do the things that they do or why they are who they are, then you, as a creator, you're walking into a propeller.
Yeah.
Basically. Because you clearly don't care. You just want to put your own little mark on it. So when I saw Man of Steel originally, first of all, I waited months after like the initial run. Like I think towards the end of the original theatrical run was when I finally decided to go and see it. Because I really honestly, like, nothing that I'd seen in terms of like the commercials or any of the preview material or anything even stirred any interest in me at all. So I went to see the movie, and I'm watching the movie, and it's dark, and it's, it's filmed and written from this sort of objectivist point of view,
Yeah, that's the other thing. If you're a fan of Ayn Rand, you shouldn't be doing superhero movies. You shouldn't even be doing Spider-Man. Because I really do. I honestly think that Ditko called himself an objectivist, but I really don't think that he was.
No, I don't think so. I think he became more of an objectivist later on as he got older. But even then, like if you read Mr. A, like if you get your hands on any Mr. A, that's definitely like in that.
Yeah.
But here's the point where Snyder lost me completely. It's the Zod scene in Man of Steel towards the end. And keep in mind, I knew nothing. I avoided all the spoilers, everything. Knew absolutely nothing. You get to that scene. spoilers, kids.
Yeah.
And Superman snaps Zod's neck. And I don't do this ever. In the theater. I'm in the theater. There's not that many people in the theater. I'm in the theater and I yell out loud, "What the fuck?" And I was done. That told me everything that I needed to know.
Good night.
Good night.
What are you talking about?
Oh,
Comic books. Hi.
everything.
We just got a visit from Jamal's daughter. She's, what are you guys talking about? Comic.
So that told me everything that I needed to know. I didn't need to know anything else.
My biggest problem, I mean, that's a huge problem with me. But really my biggest problem with Snyder's Superman is the Kents.
Yeah.
Like the way the Kents, like the idea that Pa Kent would be upset that Clark saved lives and may have revealed his secret is it's ludicrous in its inception. And then in the next movie, when Ma Kent says to him, and also that's the other thing,
right?
You know, whatever you want to say about Costner and Lane as performers, I mean, I think she's phenomenal.
Oh no, but that's
tired of really handsome young Mom Pa Kent. Give me some dumpy, Midwestern fucking farm folk. Tired of that. But that's the thing she says to him. She says to him,
listen, there's a history, starting with Annette O'Toole, there is a history of MILF Ma Kents.
Yeah, absolutely. It needs to stop. So, but like, but she says Ma Kent says to him, Diane Lane says to him, be their savior, Clark, or don't. You don't owe this planet anything. And I'm like, he owes this planet everything. Literally, Krypton blew the fuck up. It's unbelievable.
No, you're absolutely right. And again, it's the tragedy of these films is you have hundreds of talented people working on these films.
Yeah.
Like the production design.
Yeah.
The music.
I think Cavill looks more like Superman than anybody, I think.
Well, I'd argue that one.
Oh, I know you like Tyler Hoechlin, and he's great, man.
Yeah.
He's fucking great.
Listen, I'm a mark. I think, I'll be the first to admit it. I've been, the first Superman I ever saw was George Reeves. And, Chris, and then, Tom Welling, and Dean Cain.
Come on.
Yeah. John, like, Superboy. I watch every season of Superboy. Yeah. I watch every season of Smallville. That's how big of a mark
I understand. I get it, man. I get it. And that's the thing is I also, I want to say one more thing, and then I want to talk about toxic creators as opposed to toxic fan bases.
Right. But I think that's part of the problem is that with the fan base, especially with the fan base, the Snyder fans, the cult.
Yeah.
That attacks anybody who dares speak negatively about their Lord and Savior, Zack Snyder, is that he seems to encourage it. He seems to make it okay. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem. He doesn't he's smelling his own farts and thinking they smell like, biscuits, and nobody's telling him otherwise because he